Hello everyone, welcome again in the channel. Barada Guitars here again, and this is the third and the last part of this open source tele build. In this build we will do the assembly, and in the second part we did the finish step by step, and then the first part was all about CNC machining all the parts from body, fingerboard and neck. So if you want to download the file, just click the link down below and you will find all the parts that you need for this process. In this part we will do the assembly and we will hear how the guitar will sound and look like at the end, so stay tuned until the end of the video. So here we have all the dies from Nitrolac that I told you about them in the last video. They have a variety of colors. They have white, black, aquamarine, blue jeans, cherry and a lot of other colors. Check the link down below in the description box. There you can find the color that you want. Then you can be sure that you have matched product with your glossy finish and you won't face any issues while finishing your product. Here we have the relic paint that you can spread it over your finish, and then you have a relic look. Now we have all the hardwares here that we will install, and you start with fretting. I have two tools for fittings, but first I have to show you this 20-watt laser engraving machine that I will use in different videos. Here we have all the components. Everything was straightforward. The installation was very easy, and I will show you in a minute how the machine could work. Here I'm installing the 20-watt laser and I connect the air assist, the controller, and we have it ready. I connected to the computer and then I made a quick test with engraving the B from Barada Guitars on a jig that I will show you in a minute how I made it for fretting. And I made another test with Barada Guitars logo, and it's very impressive and very cool. What I got with it is this upgrading kit that I can hire the machine to work on bigger projects or bigger objects, and I have this 4-axis the rotary tool that I can use it to engrave anything that has a cylinder shape, like a ring or a guitar knob or anything that has a cylinder shape, as I said, and this is I will use in the future. If you like to purchase one of these machines, I will add the link down below with a coupon code so you can get it for a discounted price. Now moving on to the first step of this video, which is fretting using this fret wire bender from Gitabo, the link down below in the description box. They have a lot of guitar tools which you will see in this video. Here I'm just clamping this down and start reducing all the frets. I'm working with 12-inch radius, and I can cut the frets roughly to the lengths, and then I can give the fretboard a quick sanding with 400-800 grit just to have an awesome look under the lemon oil later on. Now for making this jig for a fret tank cleaner, I will use this Dremel base that I got from Gitabo. Normally it's used for inlay. You put air assistance here and it blows air down below to remove all the dust to help you to see what you are doing. But in this case we'll use it for another job. Now starting the fretting with this fret tank nipper, you can see here that I remove it, but I am still left with something underneath the fret, so I need to remove it, and that's why I made this jig. It has 12-inch radius and I can just insert the fret inside it and clean the rest of the tank that I left with. Here you can see how clean the fret is, and then I can move on for the next step. Now moving on to the fret press cowl that I got also from Gitabo. It has 4 different radiuses that you can use just by inserting the radius that you want inside it. Here you can see side to side conversing to a cheap one, which is you cannot compare it at all. Here I'm using also a fret press from Gitabo that I will use in this belt to press all my frets. Here you can see that even a cheap one can do the job really good, but of course it feels that it's unstable and flimsy. Now cutting the sides and the rest of the frets after installing it, and then start sanding the sides with 30 or 45 degree depending on what you like, and then start flattening all the frets to have flat frets, and then we will start crowning the frets after typing all the fretboard to protect it from anything that could damage it. And I know this job that not everybody wants to do because it's a little bit boring, but it protects your fretboard and should absolutely do it. Now crowning the fret would be the next step with using 400 and 800 grit sanding paper, and then we can start polishing the fret after we got the crowns again round and nice. Now for polishing the frets, I will use this clean, nice design, how to Dremel that has a lithium battery inside it, so you are not connected with cable. It has a USB Type-C that you can just connect it to recharge it, and it has also special RPM that it's lower than random Dremel. So here I'm using those polishing pads and installing them on their screw, and then tightening down to the machine and starting polishing with two kind of compound. I have a heavy cut compound and a fine compound, and you can see here in a minute that I'm starting slowly and then moving on to higher speed, and then I can move on to fine compound. You can see here that even with using the heavy cut compound that the frets look so good compared with 800 grit sanded fret. You can see here all the frets has been nice and polished. They all have a mirror finish, and that's what you want when you are done with your fretting. Now the next step would be making the knot. Here I'm marking the width of my neck on the 0 fret using standard material, which is a normal natural bone. I'm cutting the length of it to the right length and marking the 0 fret height and bringing it to the final shape. After I'm satisfied and I got the right shape, I can sand it a little bit with 220 grit, 400 to 800 grit, and start filing the right spacing strings on the knot. And after you get the spacing and the filing right, you can start polishing the bone with a cut compound and fine compound, and here you can see the final result. Now we are done with everything with the neck. I can move on to alignment and drilling the holes for the bridge, and therefore I need to check the fit of my neck. Here you can see how tight the fit is, which is a good thing always. Here I'm marking where the holes should be, and I'm using for this a drill bit on the same size of the pre-drill hole on the guitar body, and then I start drilling the holes on my optimum drill press. After drilling all the holes, I can start installing the tuners, and therefore I got my order exactly on the right time from Shella. So I will show you guys and share with you what I got in this package. Most of this hardware will be installed in next coming project, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. So starting this unpackaging with 3 different color of the S-Log system: gold, black chrome and ruthenium. And I have here some 5 and 3-way switches for tele and thread builds. I have a lot of knobs in different colors. I have also the flagship from Shella. This flagship is available in 3 and 5-way, and I will installing this flagship with this piezo saddles that will be installed on the Handmade Bridge 6. A lot of exciting projects are coming on the way. So here we have also a vintage gold tremolo from Shella. It's made for thread. And I have also here the M180 light machine heads for Damas base that coming also on the way. And this is the M6 tuner that we'll be using in this build. And here we have another set of the exact same gold tuners. And here we have the world most comfortable bridge on the market right now, which is the Handmade 6 bridge. And last but not least, this is the 3D5 bridge, which stands for a 5-string bass that I already installed one of this model on the channel. Here we have the 3-way switches from Shella and special design Shella knobs with a gold color. Now we can start with installing the M6 locking tuner, the gold color from Shella. We need for installing them just a plastic ruler to help with alignment, and for doing the alignment you should never use a metal one, you should use a plastic one, which will help to avoid any scratches on the surface of the tuners, and that will be more than enough for having straight tuners on the headstock of your neck. Now after making sure that the alignment is correct, after that we can start taking the torque all the way down on this auto drill and start drilling the hole using 1.5mm drill bit. And one thing's worth to mention that shall always include one extra screw inside the package in case if you lost one of your screws. And for tightening down the screws here, I'm using this automatic screwdriver. It has also lithium battery inside it, rechargeable with USB-C, and it's cool things to have. It saved me time, so I'm using it in this case. You don't have to do that, you can use a normal screwdriver, but something like that could save me a lot of times when I'm doing this more than one time at a day. And now we can start with doing the alignment for the bridge, and for doing that we need to insert the neck in its place and turning the guitar to the other side and start inserting the screws and the neck plate. After tightening the screws down, we can turn the guitar back to its back and start marking where the holes should go for the bridge. Now I would like to go with you in depth about the bridge alignment, but this is unfortunately something hard to do in this video because the video will be so long. But please let me know down below in the comment section if you want me to do a full video about that. Now after marking the holes, 3 steps of drilling is required here. We are talking about very precise work here. There is no room for error or tear out because we have finished here and we are on the last step. So take your time and do it slowly and be careful while doing that. So here I'm drilling holes to start installing all the electronics and installing the pickups and start wiring. Here I'm starting my wirings with grounding the bridge. This is a very important step also to avoid having any hiss or noise. And installing the bridge was done after screwing those 5 screws that holds the bridge to the body. Now for wiring, I choose to go with the standard tele wiring. I will install also this 3-way Shala switch, which is one of the best on the market, and I will start the wiring process. So I will let you not explain a lot about that because this needs specific video also, but I'm sure most of you guys knows how to wire a strat. Here I'm using those Shala nice designed knobs, which will be also add a very nice and fine touch to the body and the whole finish of the guitar. Now for the big guard, I went with this specific one because it goes perfectly with the finish, and I feel sorry every time I have to protect this beauty in the wood, but this is something that I cannot choose anything over it. This is something that you can replace as a big guard, while the body and the top on this guitar you cannot replace, and it's just once in time. So let me know what do you think about that, guys, in the comment section. Now I can start drilling a hole on the body bottom, and then I can insert my output jack and then start the wiring. Something worth mentioning that the quality of your wiring is as important as the quality of your electronics, so it doesn't matter which pickups you have on your guitar, you're gonna face a lot of issues if you have not solders the points very good. You can watch a lot of tutorials on YouTube how to do that and make sure to do everything on the right way. Applying 2 coats of lemon oil on the fingerboard will not just protect it, but it will also look much more nicer and the grain will look much more deeper. I used 2 coats and then I removed the axes from the fingerboard. Now finishing up with tightening some screws down and again installing the Shala knobs that made and designed by Shala, and installing those was very straightforward, just tightening down 2 screws using Allen key. Now for the toggle knob, I was confused. I didn't know which one to choose, but at the end I went with gold. I wanted at the beginning to install a black one, and I didn't know which one will fit better. Let me know down below in the comment section which one you think would be fitting better with this build. Now with removing the protective foil, I can start inserting all the strings from the back of the guitar body to the top and then start tightening up all the strings, and after that I can install the string tree on the headstock. One of the advantages of having locking tuners is not to have the rest of your string as a chunk over the top of your machine head. So having a cleaner look, this is absolutely something to take in consider. Now, hearing the first notes from the guitar is always something special. This gives me a really good feeling every time. And here you can see the final look of the guitar. We still have to install two things, which are the S-Lock system and this small string tree to add the right tension to the E and B strings. After installing the string tree, I can move on to install the last piece on this build, which is the S-Lock system from Cella. Again, a cold color, a very high-end product. You can see how nice the finish is. This whole piece made out of one piece of steel, unlike most of the companies out there on the market that they make this breakable by making this locking system out of two pieces, which is something really not nice, because if this breaks on the body, it's really hard to take it out without damaging the finish and the wood, and it needs a long process of repairing, and this is really annoying for a guitar player and for a luthier. Now the final and last step on this build would be installing this S-locking system using this Allen key, and this would be the last step, and until now I can leave you to hear the sound demo. But before doing that, I just want to tell you that 90% of the viewers on the tutorials video are not subscribed to the channel, so any like, subscribe, share, comment, this is really appreciated, guys. I invested so much time in this 3 parts build. This is really so much time with filming, editing and voiceovering. So as I said, any reacting on this video is appreciated. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I will catch you in the next time. And until then, peace.